Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. So everybody, thank you so much for being on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, give your thumbs up so we can keep growing up on this channel. And on today's video, we are going to react to Mexico is fighting against childhood obesity. So it's being, I think it started back in 2018 when obviously Mexico realized about the problem with obesity going on in the country, which I feel it's not just Mexico. At this point, I feel like a lot of countries are going through that with their childhood because, nowadays kids are not like very active. They're on their phones or tablets, playing video games, social media. So there is like a less honestly physical activity involved on the games that the kids play nowadays. So I feel this is a good measurement that the Mexico government is implementing to fight obesity, and the biggest downhill that comes with it, which is the diabetes, childhood diabetes too. So let's go ahead and react, and let me know in the comments what you think about these measures that Mexico is taking against childhood obesity. So let's start reacting.
I learned that in Mexico, tricks are no longer for kids. In 2018, Mexico passed a law to combat childhood obesity. All the cartoon characters we're used to seeing on cereal boxes, bread, snacks, all things delicious, have been completely erased for Mexicans. Can you imagine walking the aisles and seeing this?
Where's Toucan Sam?
Tony the Tiger? Is life not great? Quickie, not you too. That's the rabbit, by the way, that loves Nesquik. But he's gone! He's gone! On the bright side, the Mexican kids might just get super yoked and healthy by eating less sugary treats. Me? Well, I'm gonna enjoy my sugary cartoon cereal because I'm an adult.
That looks so good. Unfortunately for kids. But even us adults, sugars is bad at some point, for everybody. But let's go ahead and react to another video. So basically now also, besides banning the the cartoons to make it less attractive for kids, they're also banning some junk food outside of the schools, which that's like a big market when I was growing up too, to be honest. On my recess and stuff, I remember just there was like a house next to my elementary. And I remember like the house, it had like a wire fence. And from there, the owners of the house, they would sell us like candies and, foods and stuff, popsicles, things like that. And they would just pass it through the wiring fence. Childhood memories. I honestly miss those times. That's a big problem, for sure. That's true. All right, well, that's definitely another measurement they're taking. They're not allowing for kids to buy food on the streets. They're treating it like a tobacco type, like I guess kind of like illegal. Like I said, that could be, everybody thinks differently, so it could be maybe a too strong measurement they're taking, or not too strong, like it's appropriate. Let me know in the comments what do you think. Of course, everybody's their own world and we think differently and we have to respect each other's point of view. But let's go ahead and react to our last video.
Mexico is cracking down on food marketing to kids, part of a battle to stem a rising tide of health problems as Mexicans get fatter. Peddlers of chocolate, candies, chips, and soda can no longer promote
I'm
their
sorry, that was fun too. Like, as Mexicans get fatter.
products on afternoon and weekend television in Mexico during programs in which the bulk of viewers are under the age of 12. Starting in January, sugary cereals, yogurts, cookies, and cakes will also get less airtime. Consumer product firms impacted by the regulations include Danone, whose popular Danonino dairy snack does
That's a little creepy to see the kid contortion like that. I'm sorry.
during those times. Danone says it's requirements to advertise on TV during those times. Danone says it's working hard to lower the product's sugar content by January to meet those standards, with less than 1 gram to go. Reformulating products must be done slowly, says Danone spokesman Fabrice.
I'm a huge fan of flan, and let me tell you that I have that thing coming from Mexico. When I first came to this country, in Mexico we eat a lot of lactose products and definitely yogurt. Mexicans, we are big on yogurt for sure, 100%, and that's something I carry with me when I came to the States. And my husband was like, "Oh my God, you guys eat a lot of yogurt." That's part of our culture.
Salamanca, so that consumers don't perceive the change. Another product with sugar content above the government's mandated limit is Kellogg's Fruit Loops cereal, whose feathered mascot is known in Mexico as Sam el Tucan. Kellogg will respect the rules, says spokesman Roberto Fraga, while finding other ways to support its iconic kids' cereals. The company is deliberating its options, he says, which might include tweaking formulas. The advertising curbs come in a top market for multinational food firms and follow Mexico's adoption this year of special taxes on sugary beverages and calorie-dense snacks. A third of children in Mexico are overweight, according to a government survey, while the country is also struggling with high rates of type 2 diabetes. Children who watch at least 2 hours of TV a day, which is typical in Mexico, can see more than 12,400 spots for high-calorie foods a year, a study by the Salvador Zuberan Nutrition Institute found. Mexico's attempts to limit food...
Well, yeah, that's true, honestly. I mean, like, even us, us adults, of course, when we watch TV and we see, like, a commercial from Nice Burger or, like, ribs or things like that, we were like, oh my God, I want, you want it right there. So definitely, for sure, it's the same for kids.
Marketing go above and beyond measures taken in the U.S., where there are no government restrictions on food advertising. Still, the biggest challenge may be to educate the Mexican public about healthy eating, says Sofia Ramirez, a nutritionist who promotes fruit and vegetable consumption through a program sponsored by the Agriculture Ministry.
Although a lot of people know that sugar isn't good in such large quantities, they don't know how much is appropriate. So there's the conflict.
Mm-hmm. That is true, because at the end of the day, we're not like experts on types of food and things like that. We're kind of like ignorant at some point on different things. So, we're not, health specialists, things like that. So definitely we don't know what's the appropriate amount of sugars and stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. So far, the measurements that Mexico has taken, they are removing the cartoons from the, outside of the packaging products to make it less attractive for kids. They are not allowing to sell junk food on the streets to kids anymore. Only adults, I assume. Only kids are not allowed to purchase or buy junk food outside. And for last, they are also reducing the amount of airtime on TV of junk food and, junk food commercials, things like that. And that's all to obviously try to avoid and fight the childhood obesity within the country. And obviously from that comes, diabetes and other kind of health problems that honestly kids should not be even going through at their age. Back in the day, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, and definitely I don't remember, or I don't recall hearing like a kid, somebody from my age or another kid was going through diabetes or different health problems as they are right now. So definitely things are not great for kids right now. They don't have enough, of course, like physical activity anymore because of the technology they have available. And on top of that, we are pretty much packing them with a lot of sugar products. So definitely that's not a great result. But let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think about these measurements that the Mexican government is taking? If you feel that it's too much, or if you feel that maybe other countries would just start, adopting those measures for the kids. Let me know in the comments and see you on the next one. Thank you so much for being until this part of the video. Make sure to subscribe, give your thumbs up, and hasta la, bye bye.